Yung mental aspect ng training and also yung sports, it's one of the most important things you need to focus on. Kung i-analyze natin lahat ng sports, siguro 50 or more than 50% of the game is mental. Express your goal and develop mo yung goal mo. Kasi if you don't know your goal, you don't know where you're going.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Strength and Movement Podcast. I'm your host, Gab, and this podcast is dedicated to helping you unlock your full potential through movement and science backed fitness tips. Today, we're diving deep into the Kinetics Lab Train Like an Athlete program, a performance driven system built to help you move better, get stronger, and build the habits of elite level athletes. Whether you're an aspiring athlete, a weekend warrior, or someone who simply wants to train with purpose, this episode is for you. We're talking explosive strength, mobility, endurance, recovery, and the science behind why athletes train the way they do. And who better to guide us than the experts here at Kinetics Lab? We will be chatting with sports science coaches, physiotherapists, and nutritionists who are at the forefront of this field, bringing you the latest research and practical strategies to help you achieve your strength and fitness goals. And today, we will be starting the power of training periodization in achieving athletic level performance with Coach Josh. Coach Josh here is part of our technical team in Kinetics Lab. Coach Josh, hi, welcome to the Strength and Movement Podcast.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay, Josh. Coach, for our new viewers here, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be part of the technical team and your experience here in Kinetics Lab?
So first and foremost, I'm a graduate of sports science in UST. So that's my background, and everything I learned from sports science or sports science is from my professors in UST. And so they briefed us of how to train athletically, and also how we're able to progress clients towards a certain goal. And so that's my background, and also I also train clients in Kinetics Lab. So I'm a personal trainer there, or a fitness coach there. And since I expressed my intent to, I wanted to teach. That's one of my goals in life. And then my boss told me that you can head the technical team of Kinetics Lab. So that's where I am at right now, and that's why I'm here as well.
Okay, that's good to hear. So, based on your background, you have studied this and you have basically the credentials, spending 4 years to learn sports science and the methodologies behind it and to how to effectively train our clients. It's there. Question ko dito is, do you play any sports when you're not coaching?
Right now, well, I'm not playing any sport that's competitive, but I do play basketball at the side. I still watch sports, and also I train still like an athlete when I'm at the gym. So hindi ko naman siya inaalis sa program ko. And as a coach din kasi, you have to preach, you have to do what you preach. So you have to still perform at a high level, and what you teach, kailangan magawa mo rin siya. So even though I don't play any sports right now, yun pa rin, I still train like it.
Okay, so may background ka in basketball, no? So not only may performs ka, may perform pa nakasama doon, no?
Yeah.
Right, so let's get into the meat and bones of this topic today, no? So we're talking about athletes and athleticism. So first and foremost, let's have a definition of what being athletic is, or how do a normal or regular person feel and train like an athlete. Coach Josh, what are your insights?
So, being athletic, you can define it a lot of ways, but there are fitness components that you can train to be athletic. So, the American College of Sports Medicine defines 5 health-related fitness components and 6 skill-related fitness components. So, the 5 health-related fitness components are muscular endurance, muscular strength, cardiorespiratory endurance, and then you also have body composition and flexibility. Then you also have the 6 skill-related fitness components. Those are the speed, power, reaction time. The other ones are, wait, let me think about that. It's the coordination and Did I mention reaction time already?
I think you did.
So there are two more.
Oo. But that's fine. So let's not dwell on the on the enumerations because we can just look it up. Pero with those components stated, for a normal person to jump into training, ang dami niyang kailangan talaga
Yeah.
i-cover agad. So if for example me as a weekend warrior, diba, or like a person getting off the couch parang with a boom, I'm sure you're familiar also. Everyone wants to get into running. Everyone wants to be competitive. Everyone wants to hit a fast sub 5 time, diba? Um, with those things stated and to become competitive, how does one start? Diba? Parang, do I run fast agad or do I strengthen my nose? Or I'm from the couch. Diba? My friend just told me, oh, tara, 5K tayo bukas, casual lang. So, how does one get into this kind of training?
Well, you always start with your general physical preparedness or in preparation. So, madalas kasi naging problema dyan, sige, diretso na tayo dun. Tara, takbo
Takbo
na
lang.
tayo.
Oo.
5K, 10K, di ba?
Oo,
Tapos
yeah,
hindi
yeah.
nila iniisip ano yung repercussions nun sa katawan nila. So, you usually start with the foundations. So, Professor Buzzicelli details that in his book, in Periodization, that there are three. There is a triangle. So, yung triangle na yun is yung muscular endurance, muscular strength, and power. So, if you want to become athletic, you focus on those three things. And then, yun yung mga binanggit ko kanina sa ACSM, those things as well. So, related silang lahat. And then, also, the National Strength and Conditioning Association also mentions na kailangan mo rin yung tatlong yun and also yung other fitness components. So, if you focus on those foundations first, yun yung starting point mo. Okay, so ito yung mga kailangan kong gawin, ito yung mga kailangan kong develop. And you want to focus at the most basic level. So, ano yung mga prerequisites ng tatlong yun? Yun yung starting point. So, of course, you want to work on your movement patterns first. You want to work on your endurance na hindi ka mapagod while doing the training. And then, of course, you want to prepare your muscles for the joints para dun sa mga activities na kailangan mong gawin para maging athletic. So, if you start on your foundations, you're good. You can progress towards the next level. So,
Right.
yeah.
Kasi what I've noticed also is for what you call as weekend warriors, gusto nila competitive agad eh. Kasi nandun yung aspect na nanggigigil eh. Because you know, everyone is at a different level or a different stage in their fitness lives. Pero we're I think yung generation natin or the current situations, lahat gusto agad 100%. And that's when things go sketchy, diba? So let's talk about, you mentioned that you're building the foundations is very, very, very important. So someone is new to athletic training, ano yung core movement patterns or yung mga foundational work na kailangan nila i-develop? Like, say, let's generalize ang konti kasi lahat naman ng athletic endeavors natin require being fast, jumping, moving side to side, lateral movements, no? So, let's say, like, for example, pickleball, running, basketball, lahat yan. Medyo may mga similar movement patterns yan. How does one start this training or build their training foundations?
So, related lang din siya dun sa question kanina. So, again, yung three main biomotor abilities, yung strength, endurance, and power. So, you start with those. Pero, and yeah, and the problem with people din kasi is they want to start agad with the sport.
Yeah.
So, again, you don't want to, you can play the sport, yes. But if you want to start training for it, merong yung prerequisites talaga very important. So, binanggit mo kanina yung mga movement patterns and also yung mga qualities. So, again, yung mga binanggit ko kaninang abilities, those are the ones that you want to start with. And also, pagdating naman sa movement patterns, all sports are almost the same. So, merong mga sports na hindi mo siya gagamitin yung legs, merong mga sports na hindi mo siya gagamitin yung arms. But most sports use the whole body. So, if you use the whole body, that's why you need to start with general physical preparation. You need to train everything first. And then, you narrow it down papunta dun sa sport. So, yung mga movement patterns that we usually start with is upper body push, upper body pull, and then there's a squat pattern for the legs, and then there's a hinge pattern or in deadlift pattern pagdating sa hips din. And then, there are more, for example, yung upper body push, horizontal and vertical, ganun din sa pull. And you also have the minor or the single joint movements like hip flexion, hip extension. All of those things, we train that first before we go to the more complex movement. So, kailangan matutunan muna kasi nila eh. So, a lot of the times may mga pupunta sa gym, hindi nila alam yung ginagawa nila. And so, kukuha sila ng coach para maturuan sila. So, sa kinetics, we train them first with those movement patterns. So, we need to teach you how to push. We need to teach you how to pull with your upper body properly. So, with the foundations of the whole joints and the whole body para at least familiar sila dun sa mga kailangan nila stabilize, kailangan nila galawin para magawa nila yung mga movements nila properly. So, yeah, general physical preparedness, very, very important for everyone that wants to start with athletic training.
Copy that. So, for the regular gym goer, I guess kung kunyari they just want to get strong, they can start lifting on their own. Diba? From what I understand, if you want to get specifically strong for your sport, that's when the expertise comes in. Kasi parang based on, well, me also, my experiences, it's kind of hard to gather. Well, I mean, let's be honest, information is readily available on the internet. Diba? You can do a YouTube search, makita mo ito, you'll have a set of exercises to improve athletic performance or what have you. Pero putting it into a competent training schedule and a program that allows you to progress, medyo difficult na yun. Kasi you can't mishmash
sure,
it, diba? And then also, I think, may mga instances rin na mga nagmamarunong. I mean, like, way back in my bakal gym days, meron yan. I used to train boxing, meron kukuha ng 2 dumbbells sa gano'n, tapos susuntok na ganyan, di ba? Meron pa yung trend before, yung may mga ankle weights, so tumatakbo. So, we've gone a really long way from those, from that. And yun nga, that's why we're very thankful na yung mga experts are here also. And yung level of knowledge natin has been elevated with the help of the coaching team.
Yep.
How significant naman ito, diba? Since we have an idea na we have to build the general physical preparedness and then we become specific, how important naman is the mental aspect in building athleticism? Kunyari, like an everyday person, diba? What strategies can they employ for them to cultivate resilience, siguro focus, and a positive experience with training and challenging training? Kasi there are times talaga na parang, okay, is this a repetitive grind? Am I getting to where I need to be? What are some of the insights that you can provide to us pagdating sa mental aspect ng laro natin?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Kasi yung mental aspect ng training and also in sports, it's one of the most important things you need to focus on. So, kung i-analyze natin lahat ng sports, siguro 50 or more than 50% of the game is mental. So, for example, I love watching yung NFL. So, if you're familiar with American football, so it's I think 11-man offense and defense wherein they try to move the ball towards the goal line. So, if nag-start na yung game, madalas na nakikita lang ng mga tao, it's very physical. They have to run the ball, they have to pass the ball, they have to run and you have to block, and kailangan nila banggain yung tao para makarating sila sa goal. So, yun lang nakikita ng tao. But the problem is they don't see the mental aspect of the game. So, coaches say that it's an 11-man chess match. No? It's an 11-man chess match na naglalaban yung offense and defense. So, there's really a lot of mental aspect pagdating sa sports and sa training. Not only dun sa tactical aspect, but also dun sa yung mental, emotional side of training. Kasi there are a lot of people that try to go into training, they start, and then they get burnt out and they stop. So, sayang yung progress nila. So, people really need to focus on the mental aspect. So, one of my strategies is goal setting. So, you have to be able to express your goal and develop mo yung goal mo. Kasi if you don't know your goal, you don't know where you're going. And sadly, a lot of the times, yun nangyayari. I've had clients na they say their goal to me and they're not connected to their goal that much. They say this is their goal. Gusto kong gumaling. Gusto kong lumakas. Gusto kong maging magaling sa sport ko. And then they train with me. They train with their other coaches. And then titigil sila ng training kasi pagod na sila. And then hindi na nila kaya yung demands ng sport. So it's physical and also mental. And nakakalimutan kasi nila yung goal nila. So if you know your goal, if you've defined your goal, and if kompleto yung goal mo, you need to focus on that. Whenever you get burnt out, whenever you get tired, focus on your goal and Kaya yung start lagi ng training is goal setting. You have to see your goal, and it has to be smart. It has to be something that you look forward to. If mawala yun, your mental aspect of your training will be gone as well. So, uh, goal setting, and also, are you familiar with the replenishment cycle? So the replenishment cycle focuses on five things or five aspects of yourself. So meron diyang financial, merong spiritual, merong mental, or sorry, may emotional, may intellectual, at may physical. So these aspects of yourself, you have to work on every week, every month. It needs to cycle. It's your balance. So the balance ng limang yun is also very important. Kasi pag wala yung balance ng limang yun, you also get burnt out. Mawawala ka sa sarili mo. So yan, both of those are related dun sa goal. If you want to achieve something, you have to be focused on that goal, and you have to refresh, or you have to replenish yourself para marating mo yung goal.
Very, very insightful, and especially in burnout aspect. No, I think a lot of athletes or trainees who would like to reach a very competitive level without proper guidance nawawala.
Yep.
Especially if their core is not set, yung goal nila is not set. I can imagine training very enthusiastically, tapos kalagitnaan you miss like a
Wala.
training session, wala agad yan, di ba? Pero in the long term, if you know or you have a clear vision set with the help of your coach, I think mas madaling maka-step back up to where you left off. So that's very important. And not everyone can self-coach themselves unless na they've been through a lot of hardship. So that's that's I think the value that coaches provide. And yun nga, pwede nyo namang solohin, pero if you don't have that clear vision, chances are missing training might lead to disappointment and yun nga, further setbacks. So very, very, especially the five replenishment, that's very insightful, coach. No? Let's proceed forward naman ito. So we've talked about the physical, the mental. Eto, how about this? At what point should an everyday person consider working with a coach? Ayun nga, like we were here already, diba? I think medyo na-giveaway na natin yan. But at what point should an everyday person or a trainee consider working with a coach to optimize their athletic development? And what should they look for in a good coach?
So you have to look at certain things. So maraming rason kung bakit ka kukuha ng coach. But I think ang pinaka-important dyan is, do you know what you're doing, and are you confident in what you're going to do? Tapos, have you injured yourself by training by yourself? And are you plateauing? So, yung progress mo ba medyo nag-flatline na? So, those three things, you have to look for those. And yung other things, hindi ko na-detail. Pero dun sa tatlong yun, if na-injure ka na by training by yourself, tapos you've plateaued in your training, hindi ka na kumagaling, hindi ka na nag-improve, tapos you don't know what you're doing in the gym or in your training, then you need a coach. Kasi your coaches will guide you dun sa mga kailangan mong improve. And the coaches know, not all, pero a lot of coaches know more than yung client. So there are clients na sa tagal na nila dun sa field nila, then they know what they're doing. And they can self-train. Pero a lot of the time, yung mga tao, hindi nila alam kung ano yung gusto nilang makuha dun sa gym. So what do they need to look for when they are looking for a coach is not necessarily yung galing, but I think yung readiness or yung availability ng coach to listen to the client and also to learn. So yun kasi yung isa sa mga pitfalls ng isang coach or ng strength and conditioning coach. Nakapag-aral na sila, alam na nila yung ginagawa nila, but they don't refresh themselves with the new trends, the new topics, new books, para ma-improve pa nila yung training nila. So, whenever that happens, the coach basically dies as a coach. So, nawawala na yung expertise niya. Naiiwan siya. So, if you're able to find a coach that always learns, always refreshes himself, tapos he listens or he or she listens to you dun sa mga demands mo. Kasi it's a two-way approach. Yung training is a two-way approach. You don't train just by looking at yourself. Or pag may coach siya, of course, it has to be a two-way communication. na kinakausap mo yung coach mo, may feedback, at tas yung coach mo may sabihin sa'yo may feedback din. So if he listens or he or she listens, then that's good. So those two things for me, then dun siya, then that's a good coach. Because may mga fresh grad ng mga coaches na inisip ng mga tao, ay, pag gusto ko kasi ng veterano eh. That's fine. Pero yung mga fresh grad na coaches na yun, hindi nila alam na, nag-aaral pa pala to. So he's gonna learn more. He's gonna be a better coach. He's still experimenting, but when he learns that, mas gumagaling yung coach. And then, baka mas magaling na to kaysa dun sa veterano. So you don't look at the experience in the field. You look whether that coach is improving himself or not. So yeah.
That's a very interesting insight, no? Kasi yun nga, you brought up the topic na veterans versus newbies. Gusto yung experience, gusto yung batak sa training, gusto yung maraming kliyente. There must be a reason maraming kliyente tong coach na to, gusto ko siya rin, di ba? But you've brought up the fact that, kunyari, fresh grad, these guys are fresh from school. Yung mga books, yung mga texts, yung mga studies nila are most likely are the most up-to-date pagdating dun sa sa field, di ba? So, do not be quick to discredit or put them to the side, yung mga new coaches natin, kasi ito yung mga gutom eh, and these guys really are hungry to prove themselves to everyone. So ayun nga, same way, may mga pros and I think both have their advantages. I would say cons. So I'd say both have their advantages. It really depends on how you see it. Although yun nga, very very interesting insight, coach, pagdating sa mga newbies also and then sa mga veterans. So we're nearing the end of our topic. I think maganda yung flow ng conversation natin. We have covered yung how to get started, general physical preparedness, and then have your coach develop your goals, set your mental game by knowing your core, making sure that you refresh and replenish those 5 aspects. Very important, and it's something that I think everyone can learn and develop. Pero yun nga, again, I think itong mental aspect or reps din to, no, coach?
Yes.
Because if you don't practice it, you won't be able to ingrain it in your core. And then lastly, of course, yung seeking the help and the expertise of coaches. Yung tawag dito, the new ones, the newbies versus the veterans. And also kung yung communication is there and yung feedback is there and yung progression is there also. Yes. So any last parting or closing words natin or closing insights natin for our viewers and listeners here na who would like to start taking training seriously or parang want to level up and start training like an athlete to maximize basically and have freedom on how to use or parang push their bodies into their specific sports.
So yun
nga, any parting words or parang insights for our clients, athletes, listeners na gusto mag-level up ng training nila, want to start becoming more athletic, perform better in life, in their chosen sport, or even just overall as a person, diba? Anything that you can share with our viewers.
So one thing about people is sometimes they try to rush things. So life is not a 100-meter sprint. So like it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Mahaba yung buhay. Well, it depends on the person, pero mahaba yung buhay. And even at an old age, you can still be athletic. So ang gusto ko sa athleticism, hindi lang siya yung binanggit ko kanina. But for me, athleticism is being able to do any task at any given time with minimal fatigue or minimal effort. So if you're able to do that, even at an old age, you can be considered athletic. It's not too late to start. It's never too late na gusto mo maging athletic, but rather, if you want to start now, you can ask for expertise. You can ask for experts na tutulungan ka towards your goal. So, wag ka lang matatakot, don't doubt yourself na, kasi baka masyado ako matanda or baka it's too late or baka I don't have the qualities to become athletic. No, everyone can be athletic. It can be trained. You can develop the abilities to become athletic. So it's never too late. You can always start at any point of time. Tapos it can always be developed. So if you want it to start now, go.
Very well said, Coach Josh, and thank you very much. Again, it's never too late to start, so we will see you again on the next episode of the Strength and Movement Podcast for you to learn more about how to train like an athlete. See you guys.